Hey guys, I'm Randy with BRStv, and today we shine the spotlight on coral nutrition supplements from Korallen-Zucht to provide all your coral types with easy-to-dose nutrition. Today we'll discuss what they are and help you choose the right ones for you and your tank, regardless of your method of reef keeping. Here at BRS, we've been using these KZ coral nutrition options ever since the beginning of the BRS 160, and we've had great success with them so far. Along with that, the concentrated formulas in nearly each bottle means that you can use much less than some other coral foods, which also means that it typically lasts longer. Along with those smaller, more concentrated dosages, some of the bottles include their own built-in dropper, which makes it super easy to make sure your tank gets accurately dosed. And finally, the entire KZ line is backed by a community of reefers who have used these additives in their tanks with proven results almost anyone could be impressed with for over 2 decades. With just a few to choose from, let's talk about which KZ coral nutrition bottles you may want for your tank. As I mentioned earlier, we personally use a few of these on our very own BRS 160 reef tank, in which case we're pretty big fans of the Coral Vitalizer, which is a concentrated liquid and solid food source that's said to increase polyp extension for both SPS and LPS corals. We also like the amino acid concentrate that's specifically targeted towards LPS and soft corals, as well as the standard amino acid concentrate for a well-rounded supplementation of foods and aminos. The most popular coral nutrition supplement from the KZ line is Pulse Extra and Pulse Extra Special, which are both used for increased coloration and polyp extension, with Pulse Extra Special being specifically targeted at increasing color in pale, hard, stony corals. Outside of that, if you're looking for a coral food for your filter feeders like sponges and clams, KZ has you covered with their Sponge Power, which also claims to bring out better coloration in the tips of some SPS corals as well. Finally, for those of you with smaller nano-sized tanks who want the most popular coral nutrition options, but don't necessarily need them on such a large scale, KZ has nano-sized variety package called Nano Power Pack, which includes small concentrated bottles of Pulse Extra, LPS Amino Acid, Sponge Power, and Coral Vitalizer. There's not much for accessories with the KZ coral nutrition options, but you may want to consider an accurate way to dose each one, in which case for those bottles that don't come with their own dropper built into the lid, you may want to pick up a graduated cylinder like this, or some small syringes like these that range from 1 milliliter up to 10 mils. Just for reference, the cap of these bottles without a dropper holds just about 10 milliliters. Other than that, although you may be able to hook up a larger bottle to a dosing pump, some of these foods need to be shaken before use or even refrigerated, so hand dosing may be the best approach. Using and dosing the KZ nutrition foods and aminos are pretty easy. However, carefully following the dosing instructions for each one can help you make sure that you don't run into potential issues down the road. For example, for nutrition options like Pulse Extra Special and Coral Vitalizer, KZ recommends fairly small dosages, but more importantly reminds you to not overdose. With that in mind, it's always a good idea to start with about half or a third the recommended dosage and monitor your tank and corals to watch for the desired effect. If you don't see changes over the course of a few weeks or so, you could look into increasing the dosage a bit until you reach the max dosage amount for your size of tank. Thanks for watching, and if you have any more questions that we didn't answer here, feel free to give us a call, send us an email, or hop on a chat. See you next time on BRS TV.